You're watching highlights of the Green City Council meeting on June 23, 2026. Follow your local governments at cgov.org.
City leaders had just outlined a new phase of charter review work and set a date for the public to weigh in. Here's how they framed what comes next.
Before we get into new legislation, I do want to just tell everybody that you will hear multiple items that are in reference to the Charter Review Commission and their findings, and you'll hear them being appointed to the Committee of the Whole. I have asked Mr. Neugebauer to chair that committee, and there will also be a public hearing scheduled for each of these individual items on July 28th. So, Madam Clerk, if you can go through the new legislation, please.
City leaders moved several charter changes one step closer to the ballot, from how the government is described to how residents are officially notified. Listen to how these proposals were introduced to voters.
2026-R31, a resolution submitting to the electors of the City of Green a proposal to amend Section 2.4 of the Charter of the City of Green to add strong to the form of government description and declaring an emergency. 2026-R32, a resolution submitting to the electors of the City of Green a proposal to amend Section 4.8 of the Charter of the City of Green to add email with read receipt as a form of notification for special council meetings and declaring an emergency. 2026-R33, a resolution submitting to the electors of the City of Green a proposal to amend Section 4.11 of the Charter of the City of Green to add electronic online equivalent as a method of publication for ordinances, resolutions, and other public notices, and declaring an emergency.
Council had just come out of a closed-door session and was up against a tight legal deadline on a labor agreement. See how they handled a high-stakes vote with only 7 days to decide.
The administration has asked for first reading passage on this. We did have an executive session to discuss some of the details within this agreement. The report is available. The fact finder's report is available online if anybody has any questions about it. We are required to accept or reject this based off of Ohio Revised Code within 7 days of receipt. And last, I would like to adopt 2026 R39.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Please call the roll.
Mr. Spate?
Yes.
Mr. Mager?
Yes.
Mr. Brandenburg?
Yes.
Mr. Dvitas?
Yes.
Mr. Noble?
Yes.
Mr. Humphrey?
Yes.
Mr. Neugebauer?
Yes.
Okay, 2026-R39 is adopted 7-0.
From supporting veterans to reshaping city staffing, Council queued up a batch of behind-the-scenes changes for deeper review. Here's how those new positions and commission updates were first put on the table.
2026-16, an ordinance amending Section 34.13, Veterans Advisory Commission of the Codified Ordinances of the City of Green.
That would be referred to the Rules and Personnel Committee.
2026-17, an ordinance creating the position of Accounts Payable Clerk in the Finance Department, establishing compensation and declaring an emergency.
That would be referred to the Rules and Personnel Committee.
2026-18, an ordinance creating the position of Member Services Clerk in the Service Department, establishing compensation and declaring an emergency.
That one's also going to Rules and Personnel Committee.
Council member Humphrey brought forward the final item of the night, a fast-track change to how Green's income taxes were handled. Stay tuned to hear what this contract would have meant for the city.
The final piece of legislation we had in committee this evening was on second reading, 2026-15, an ordinance authorizing the mayor to enter into a contract with the Regional Income Tax Agency, RITA, a regional council of governments organized pursuant to Chapter 167 of the Ohio Revised Code for the administration, collection, and enforcement of the municipal income tax of the City of Green, Ohio, and declaring an emergency.
From expanding alcohol sales to adding license plate cameras, Councilmember Dvitas walked through a pair of public safety decisions that sparked extra scrutiny. Hear how Council balanced moving forward with pressing pause.
They currently sell wine and some spirits. This would just add beer to their sales. This is a new license. Again, we requested any other information from the Sheriff's Office. There was no concerns brought to our committee. We opened that discussion in committee and council. No further comments or concerns were brought up. And at this time, I'd like to make a motion to not request to hold a hearing for TMP 5410. It's 2026-R26A, a resolution authorizing the City of Green to enter into a second amendment to the policing contract fiscal years 2024 to 2026, with the Summit County Sheriff to include flock safety cameras to enhance services within the City of Greene, and declaring an emergency. As far as we've been made aware that the county is actively in discussion with flock if they will make some of the changes that our committee had requested. And yeah, at this point, there's not really anything to report, any changes since our last meeting. And we're going to take time until our second meeting in July, the only meeting in July. So I'd like to request time for 2026-R26.
Council turned from neighborhood growth to business incentives in one quick motion, signing off on new housing lots while tapping the brakes on a tax break deal. See how they weighed development on both fronts.
Is item 2026-R25, a resolution approving the final plat and performance bond for Stony Creek Estates Phase 5 and declaring an emergency. Again, this is 27 new lots. There are R1 single-family lots on the back of Stony Creek, varying in size from a third to a half acre. And the performance bond is for the sum of $844,590.53. Again, since this is on third reading, I'm going to make a motion to adopt 2026-R25.
We have a motion and a second to adopt 2026-R25. Is there any discussion? Please call the roll.
Mr. Noble?
Yes.
Mr. DeVitas?
Yes.
Mr. Brandenburg?
Yes.
Mr. Humphrey?
Yes.
Mr. Spate?
Yes.
Mr. Maker?
Yes.
Mr. Nuggebauer?
Yes.
Okay, 2026-R25 is adopted 7-0.
It is item 2026-R24, a resolution authorizing a municipal economic development grant agreement with Hoover Cation LLC and declaring an emergency. Again, this is an economic development grant for bringing their business to Greene. It's got certain requirements associated with it. The total grant is for $12,000 spread out over 3 years, and it's basically a 50% income tax reduction during those three years. This item is on second reading, and so I'm going to request time on 2026-R24.
Litter along Greene's main roads had become hard to ignore, and a speaker used committee time to raise the alarm. Hear how they pressed for more awareness and possibly tougher enforcement on trash cleanup across the city.
I did bring up during committee some concerns that were expressed to me by a couple of residents in my ward regarding the trash accumulation along some of the major thoroughfares here in the city of Greene. So I'll be following up with the administration to see if we could do something to kind of raise some awareness and maybe start doing some more enforcement or signage around the city.
Major road projects were about to reshape daily life along Arlington Road, and the mayor used this update to warn residents what was coming and how to stay in the loop. If you drive these routes, you'll want to hear the timelines and the one step that kept people from being caught off guard.
By way of update for the Arlington Road Improvement Project, utilities are currently being moved. The contractor is beginning to mobilize in preparation of a start date that is tentatively set for July 6th. We've met with a number of groups. We had a neighbor meeting, if you will, for neighbor businesses and residents. Council was invited to. We've also had specific neighborhood meetings for Spring Hill neighborhood, Briar Creek, and Parkview. Tomorrow we meet with the residents of St. Edwards. This is important, and I hope Council will help me share this. Reminding residents to register for text emergency alerts. This is the most effective way that we have to let residents know anytime there is a short-term adjustment in traffic, road closures, etc., relating to the project. Being able to geofence and let people know how it's going to affect them is important. So if folks want to be on the list so that they're getting real-time information about the project, please send them to cityofgreene.org/alerts to receive text messages. Construction has also begun on the Southwood Drive extension to Tabbs Drive. The project is expected to be completed by early September. Another FYI, the contractor building the new Chick-fil-A at Arlington and Arlington Ridge will be closing down the southbound curb lane on Arlington just south of Arlington Ridge beginning July 6th for 3 weeks.
Property tax bills were running late, and the mayor stepped in to explain what happened and how state-level changes played a role. If you were watching your mailbox, this is where you'd learn what it meant for your payment deadline.
Summit County has also sent a notice that the property tax bills are going out late. They will be going out this Wednesday, June 24th. The reason for that is there needed to be adjustments made to reflect changes that the legislature has put into place. And so bills are now going out. If you're used to seeing it and expect it by now, it's coming. They'll still be due in July.
Between a hometown 5K and a live reading of the Declaration of Independence, the mayor turned a routine update into an old-school 4th of July invite. See how the city planned to bring residents into the 250th anniversary celebrations.
On July 4th, the Rain Tree 4th of July 5K will be happening. Registration is open for the annual Rain Tree 4th of July at cityofgreen.org/great8. You might wonder why we're picking July 6th. That was the day, or July 8th, that was the day back in 1776 the Declaration of Independence was originally read out loud for the public. The reading is part of a broader statewide effort to mark America's 250th. The official state commission responsible for spearheading Ohio celebrations and commemorations. Attendees are encouraged to dress in patriotic or historic costumes. A winner for best costume in each category will be selected. So bring your Uncle Sam hat. Following the reading, cookies and fresh mints courtesy of Acme Fresh Market will be served. On July 19th,
from global desserts to a national spotlight on Main Street, the mayor used this update to show how Green was joining the America 250 celebrations in its own way. Stick around to hear how residents were invited to take part and how the city landed on a nationwide map.
We'll also be holding this year a Sweets of the World event in conjunction with the NEO Jazz Orchestra. This is a free concert from NEO Jazz. Currently, we're seeking bakers to share their favorite family or ethnic dessert at the event. Bakers, residents, businesses, or organizations may register at cityofgreen.org/register. For good and welfare, also, Naughty Vine on Main Street is taking part in the EarthCam America 250 project. EarthCam is installing cameras to highlight the beauty of America at 250 sites throughout the country, and Green has made the map.
Council wrapped up the night with a look ahead to its summer break and a few personal shout-outs from the dais. Stick around to see who was honored before the gavel came down.
I do want to remind residents that we have our summer recess scheduled for the July 14th meeting, and we will resume normal council business on July 28th. I'd like to extend a thank you to Detective Cadwell. He's been with us for a number of years, keeping us safe here during council meetings, and he's on to some new adventures in life, and we appreciate your help, sir. Additionally, I would like to recognize our clerk. Ms. Messner just got elected to a city seat for the Executive Board of Directors for OMCA, so it's quite an achievement.
One council member closed with a flyover preview, fresh from a visit with historic bombers at the local Air Museum. If you were heading to Freedom Fest, this was your hint to look up during the show.
But I was at MAPS today, and I got to tour the B-17 and B-25. It was pretty cool. So if anybody would like to take opportunity of that was a very neat experience. They have a C-130 there also, but they did mention that they're going to try to do flight line over Freedom Fest on Saturday as they're doing these flights. So that might be a cool experience to see those planes come overhead too. I believe the B-25 is a little bit smaller than the B-17, if you can tell the difference. Thank you.
That's a wrap from the council, where charter changes, labor agreements, new staff roles, housing lots, and a mix of public safety and road projects all moved forward while a few tax and incentive items were put on pause. With a July recess, public hearings on charter items set for July 28th, and big Arlington Road work and America 250 events on the way. Keep an eye out for future highlight reels to stay in the loop.
Thank you for watching CGov.